the federal government when it comes to the when it comes to education, when it comes to terrorism. We're going to be talking about that. There's a very interesting case that popped up. The court has even ordered people, some person to actually pay damages for grazing, to farmers. It's a very, very interesting case. Of course, one of the very interesting issues that is on the front burner, especially on social media right now, is the issue of Davido, or more like Davido's dad, coming out to, maybe this is probably the first time that everybody's seen the man address anything publicly, and so it's very interesting that that's where we are now on those matters like that. We're going to be talking a lot, breaking down a lot of that conversation. Aftermath of AFCON is still ongoing. There's still just now, Mujist has moved from Morocco, has now moved to Algeria. Maybe more sanctions are coming. We never know, but looks like the sanctions have begun. And we don't know if there will be more, but we'll talk about the one that there is. And of course, Champions League Day 7 was concluded yesterday. If time permits us, we might definitely be able to look at the matches that were played yesterday, and even a bit of a review of what was played yesterday and the table as it stands now. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show with us. My name is Oladoluko, and with me in the studio is Shola Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's a terrific Thursday, and this is how we roll.
All right. Anyway, welcome again. Welcome. If you're just joining us for the very first time, this is the bar where we give you everything: politics, sports, entertainment, and everything else in between. So we're going to be diving straight into the gist. I don't know if we want to talk about a few gist, or more like, what everybody wants to hear. Maybe we should start from that, actually. Let's start from the entertainment angle, and maybe not so much entertainment, but yesterday, I think it's safe to say yesterday afternoon, there was a video that popped up, and I think apparently Mr. Deji Adeleke, who is Davido's father, had to have a press conference yesterday. That's probably the first time anybody has. Most people have probably heard him talk in public. It's never really the man. In fact, I'm sure I was talking to a friend yesterday. I said, "Oh God, that if not for Davido, probably if people just hear his name, they might not even have a face to the name. That's how the man has just been low key, and that's who he has always been. But apparently, he has a Davido. That's all I can say at this point. And for that reason was the reason why he came out yesterday, and there was about a 1 hour long it's not even an interview, because nobody interviewed him. He just came to speak his mind and explain issues that concerned his son, his last child Davido, and his and a particular lady and her daughter who had claimed that Davido was the father of the child. And the man had a very detailed video of how he had ordered for a DNA test, how he had gone to pick up this lady, her mother, and her child, how they had gone to a hospital, and they had done tests. He had summoned his own son as well, that even his own son had talked about how he never met this lady before, but that he didn't want to have any of it, and that he was determined that if this child was his, if it was theirs, he was going to take up the responsibility as a grandfather of the child. He talked about how they did the first DNA, and he had asked that they should wait in Lagos for another week to look for another hospital, and the grandmother of the baby had insisted that she was going back to Ibadan, and she left, and how a few years after there was another.
You skipped the part where the first DNA test came out 0.0.
Oh yeah, that it was 0.0.
It's
very true actually. How the first DNA had come out, and there was the result showed that there was no way Davido was the father of the child. and they had left, which had prompted the man that let's go to another hospital. You choose the hospital, and they had left, and he didn't hear anything from them until after a few years after, and then where there was now the option of he had also put out the option of having 2 different hospitals, and then in that mix there was also now Davido's cousin B-Red.
Yeah, so let me just be helping you with the feelers. The girl that they claim is Davido's daughter, the family went to town saying that Davido's family had bribed the first hospital, and that's why the results came out 0.00 chance of him being the girl's father. But of course, they went to town with that, and he said he told his son, just move on with your life. Then it was a COVID period when the girl that claims she's Davido's baby mama, her sister now reached out. I think her elder sister now reached out to him again and said the option of running 2 tests, can we look at that option? And he said he liked the way she approached it, and he said fine, that you go find those 2 hospitals. And that's when they started talking about how B-Red actually happens to be David also. Yeah. He's also David Adeleke, but his own is Adebayo, So he's like, you know what? Just to satisfy you people to know that there's nothing to hide, pick 2 hospitals. B-Red will run 2 tests. Davido will run 2, and we will also pick 2 hospitals. That now makes it 5 DNA tests just to ascertain if any of the Adelekes are responsible for that pregnancy or the child.
So that was at that point, and then there was the part where I think he was now reported to Oni of Ife.
Yeah.
That
he was trying to use his wealth to cheat them.
That why are they doing a DNA test? That
they should just accept the child.
Really. In fact, the man had to come up with that they had manipulated it. The man had come up and he had brought up the DNA sample of Davido that was used for his first daughter, Imadi.
Yeah, when she wanted to get a US passport.
And how it was the same DNA profile for the one that was used for this girl. And if it's the same profile, how come one is 99.9% and another is 0.00? It just didn't add up. Also, there were now talks of how a few days ago the man had talked about how he had helped pay the school fees of this child, and where he was reaching out to the aunt, and because at this point I think he had cut off communication with the child's grandmother, because the child's grandmother was not the one that was going off with all sorts of stories. And how he had reached out to the lady, and the lady had reached out to him a couple of days ago. Before that she was the only one that he had spoken to. After a while, how he had paid the girl's school fees. Yeah. How the mother of the child was.
The lady said that she was the one picking all their bills and all of that, and that it was very hard. And she said she was not asking for help because of that alleged DNA thing, but basically because the weight was really heavy on her. So he now said, look, that he will go one step further and offered the sister a scholarship to their own university. And it was a walk to earn program where that people who are in that program earn like 50K a month. And they also don't pay, like she's not paying the what's it called now? She's not paying tuition or anything
in that program. I don't even live on the campus, but they gave her accommodation and all that, and he was being helping out with bills of the girl. And
she went to school for 2 sessions, 100 level and 200 level, and she did very well academically. Then suddenly stopped. She stopped. That's the mother of the girl, Anu. Meanwhile, the Anu's school fees were also being paid
and all that. Now there's now a mix of a Kemi Olunloyo, who the man now had come out to say that a few days ago the aunt had sent a message to him and say that whatever it is on social media, that it has nothing to do with them, that they are cut off ties with Kemi Olunloyo, and that Kemi Olunloyo was the one in charge of that social media page, and she was one that put out all these messages. Now, to be honest with you, if you see the write-up of what it was supposed to be the girl's social media handle, it actually kind of makes sense that it's not a 14-year-old that wrote it.
Yeah.
It kind of adds up now.
It was one thing that jumped out at most people that were discerning when when this thing broke last week. They were like, are you sure she wrote this? You know, like people were really wondering. But now that there's the allegation by the family that she definitely didn't write it, that's according to the family as relayed by Davido's father, that it was actually Kemi Olunloyo that was behind the whole charade.
Yeah. However, Kemi Olunloyo had come out to say that as far back as I think 2018 or 2019 that she actually opened that account, and that she ran the account for a while before she passed it on to the mother. Now, where I have a few discrepancies, and I won't call it discrepancies.
You have.
Is that, or I've noticed, is that other than the girl's post, there is also another person posing as the mother of the lady, who is writing a lot of things as well.
Okay.
So, according to Kemi Olunloyo, she says that the account now is handled by the mother and not her.
Okay.
So, can we also, because now, even the handle of the so-called mother, we don't know who is behind that account anymore, has not just even replied Davido once, has also replied the father. There's a post where she also said, that she's not Sophia Momodu, that she cannot just be tossing her around and and all that. So, and looking from the man's angle, that after 200 levels she just stopped. Could it be possible that, and with the things that the mother and grandmother of this girl had alleged for so long, could it be possible that the mother of this child is really probably behind all this?
Well, I like to believe that even if the one that is in touch with Davido's father claims nobody in their family is behind it, it's very hard to believe, because they seem to be in sync for them to have pulled out of a program that was going to empower her. You know, how many people get a chance to go to a private university for free?
Uni and get paid.
You earn. Meanwhile, there's a part where Davido's father also pointed out that his cousin, who is also an Adeleke, I think it's Dr. Sikiru Adeleke also, the lady at work to earn or school work program was working closely with this Dr. Adeleke. And at some point, the man had asked her, look, you're doing very well academically. What happened to you, And she, according to the doctor, confessed that she was dating someone else in Ibadan who happens to be a banker, who is light-skinned, because they were talking about light skin, who she had approached with this matter. And the guy told her, don't even try it. He's married now and doesn't want to hear anything about it. So the fact that there's a possibility of someone else, and she now goes, why don't you even have that person also do a DNA test?
Exactly.
And the guy says it doesn't want to have anything to do with them, blah, 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 blah. And I just came to my own conclusions, because it was a very long video.
Yeah,
but very detailed, very articulate. Davido's dad was there with proof after proof after proof, and it was chronological, breaking it down from how everything started to when the story hit the blogs again. And he said that this was his first time of even addressing the press conference or whatever. You look at someone who is a multi-billionaire, who's got so many businesses, but he's not out there talking about that or any of the things. One of the things that also jumped at me was how he had mentioned that at the present moment and almost at any given time, there are over 3,000 people in different universities across Nigeria that his family is actually sending or supporting through school, to get their degrees and all of that. And I felt that was massive. And he kept on saying, look, if this child is ours, in a jiffy, I would, in a heartbeat, I would take her on and take care of her. The way his house is built is for such things and all of that, the swimming pool, everything. But the science is saying otherwise. What I see is some form of extortion.
Yeah, I think so too.
And some mild blackmail. And what would usually happen with a lot of families, that because of the bad press, they will just cave in and say, okay, you know what, we've heard she was our child, blah blah blah, and they're going, because he also said that they went to his sister in Ede, his sister lives in Ede, and the girl and her mother went there and saying, look, tell your brother to just accept that this is your nephew's child, and the woman gave it back to them that, look, didn't you confess to Dr. Sikiru Adeleke that you had someone else also that is most likely the father of that child? And for me, I just see one thing, that when it comes to being rich and being famous, you're definitely going to have this kind of, especially if your lifestyle starts to move towards such things. It is hard. For instance, there's this popular billionaire son that was in Big Brother a couple of years ago, and people were actually talking about how he's kind of scandal free. And I think it was on a podcast or something, and he was explaining the extent he goes to, and the things that he avoids doing, and the things that, and it's not like he doesn't party, he doesn't go out. It's a wake-up call for everybody. Look, with fame comes a lot of attention. It also comes a lot of pressure and a lot of rent seekers and all sorts of people who see you as a shortcut to wealth, who see you as a shortcut to fame, and they'll stop at nothing to get it. Hardly would you find any popular musician that has not had one person claim, oh, he's my father. Someone claimed that Sanwo-Olu is his father now before the last election.
Oh my God.
That his mother told him. And that, of course, they didn't Sanwo-Olu work in Warri at some point or somewhere in the Niger Delta and blah, blah, blah. And all of that, So you always have people come out to say all sorts of things. I'm even, at my age, I'm still looking for someone to claim as my father to maybe, since they can just accept people without DNA. It's not like I'm not willing to do DNA. I'm just saying that maybe Dangote is my daddy or something. I'm not too old to be his son.
Anyway,
or is it Femi or Tedola? Which one should I even?
Anyway, basically, I just think
which one?
that
Advise me.
I'm not. Please, I want to have a serious conversation.
Why are we serious about people trying to scam people with DNA?
The truth is, I think that people need to, like you said, you need to check your lifestyle. Sadly, the sad part for me here is that there's a child that I think between Kemi Olunloyo and this child's mother, there is a minor that her life is being toppled. That it's social media. Nobody, they say the internet never forgets. You've literally put a stigma, you put a mark on this girl's back just because of this drama. And I think that it's okay that you because really and truly, even if we go back to the first, I think, statement that was attributed to the mother of the child, where she had talked about, she had met Davido to so place, and she's not a hooker or something, that she met him at a club, and that she was a waiter. I'm sorry, that whole mix already does not paint you in a great light. I'm sorry, it doesn't. But then, even if that happens, and then there's your whole child involved now, that everybody is going on and having conversations, and I can imagine the kind of things that people, because it's not everybody that is nice, the kind of things that people have said about your child.
Another angle, and this never says this to shock me is how people are having unprotected sex. Like, yeah, they're actually out there.
And you know when it comes to,
I don't know
that when it comes to unprotected sex, in my own book, so I think that pregnancy is the safest thing that can come out of
exactly.
it.
That's where I'm coming from. Exactly.
It's literally the safest
like
thing.
You're bold enough. You don't know this person from Adam. You probably never met the person before. I'm following the story. If it's true that she met him at a club and she walked at that
day
club,
and then I listened to a sermon about a week or two ago, and the pastor was talking about fornication basically, and it's like that. You know that you must have some level of confidence for you to do some certain things, and everybody was laughing. I was like, do you know the level of confidence it takes to have unprotected sex with someone you don't know? Like, let's remove the idea of sin. Do you know the kind of things you can get from it? And it's actually very true. Like, you have to have some level of mad confidence.
Someone said something profound on Monday, and it's something that I can relate to. He said he had to do a lot of blood work and tests and everything last week, and that the craziest part is waiting for your results. And trust me, when he said that, I could relate. That virtually every time you've had to do, you want to check blood count, or you want to do this, or you want to do this, there's a part of you that just wants everything to be negative.
It's so just ridiculous.
The weight alone, like, you've gone to do an HIV test, and you don't know if it's positive or negative. Leading up to when you are going to get that test, everybody around you are looking at them like, does the gate man know something? The receptionist is looking at me funny. Why is this doctor taking so long?
Let me give you a live what's it called? Something that happened to my friend, I and a few of my friends. So we're three of us. I remember very well. I was on 100 level. Yeah. We were just walking down. They had just opened a youth experience center. It was like an AIDS. So we're just coming back from class. They're like, this thing that what do they ever used to do in this place? So it was like around 5ish. So we walk into the place like
5 p.m.
Yes. And so we walk into the place and I'm like, that they give you, so if you do like the HIV test, they give you malt and biscuits. So like, it's free malt and biscuits.
Let's get it.
No problem. So what they actually really do, because it's a school area, they encourage a lot of people to do it. Apparently they give you condoms and all that.
Yeah.
So we did. I came out. I think the test takes 10-15 minutes, and then
is that fast?
Oh yeah, it was that fast. And then they give you and you're good. The second person comes
very
out,
long 10-15 minutes for some people.
The second person comes out and we're good. And then so we're at the reception waiting for the third person. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And they said that people that you hear you
counseling.
And they are doing counseling. I say, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. What's happening here?
What's going on here?
This matter is a friend of mine that you actually know that we're waiting to get. Almost when I was already getting dark, like, what's happening here? We're three of us that
it's already past 6 now.
Refused to come out. Like almost an hour, she comes out laughing with the doctor. What happened? Apparently, it's a family friend from the house in Lagos.
What nonsense.
So they saw each other and they were just.
And you don't have to come and
tell us. You gotta come and tell us
that you are negative also.
I'm telling you.
What's that?
Like, what's the meaning of that? Like, I'm sure if they are taking maybe like my blood pressure, I'd be like, is this?
You guys are even nice. Some friends would have left.
It was not funny because I'm like, what?
Have you ever heard of someone that went to take a test before taking a test?
What?
So you're about to get married and they're like, the church says this particular hospital or clinic is where you go for a pre-marriage test, which includes the HIV test, majorly HIV test. And you now go like, so after so what happens if it's, you now first go and do the test
to be sure, so that
then you have now done the test. You
so
now know.
Confidence.
You're like, let's go to that your clinic,
Joe.
You understand? And of course, between that period, you are very, very good.
Very chaste.
Yes.
Very, very chaste.
For months. It's months. Leading up to years.
Oh my God.
So
let's be.
How do people have the mind or say even if it's a celebrity or not, wherever the person is, like, you're gonna be like,
it's the confidence for me. It's the audacity.
You're gonna without protection. I beg you.
It's just ridiculous. Please. I just feel and hope.
Let us all be guided.
Yeah, but for the sake of this girl, this drama needs to end. Also, Miss Kemi Olunloyo has started throwing all sorts of allegations and all sorts of jabs. Again, I'm not going to.
Kemi Olunloyo
I'm not going to echo some of the things that she said.
It's someone that has.
I think they're just ridiculous.
She has no filter. That's the way I see her. Like, she's someone that can say anything at any time. She said things about her father. I said things about virtually everybody around her that I can't also repeat on air. But if you want to go and check, I think she has.
I think it's
some
ridiculous.
Verified pages.
But the honest truth is that.
And she must be making a lot of money from social media.
Oh yeah.
She's always on social media.
Oh yeah. I hope that. But really, if the old man feels that she needs to be sued, please go ahead and sue anybody that was to be sued. This matter needs to be dead and buried, especially when, even if it's just a Davido kind of thing. I feel that some other musicians, maybe on his level or maybe even bigger, might not even have so much. But when you come from a family that has so much pedigree, it's a different
pedigree
situation.
In this context means money.
Oh yes, money, lots of money, lots of it, and a name. Do you understand? You have some names.
Name in this context also means money.
Money. So they have the name to protect. So honestly, and then the fact that the worst part for me is not just money. The fact, of course, I know it's because of the money is the reason why the man himself was dragged into this. Much.
The people who are doing it, they also want money.
Going to as much as Oni of Ife and what's it called?
Even to the, I think they went to the Timi of Ede also.
Yeah, on all that. It's because the man has money and the man has a name to protect. That's why you're doing it. If it was another person that was even bigger than him, I don't want to mention names, but they don't, like, their family are not as big, you probably would just be dealing with the artists by themselves. But so I think that the man has a name to protect. If you think that suing these people, anybody suable that can put this matter to bed, I think that it is needed and is needed fast.
Thank God for DNA. Thank God for science, though.
Yeah.
Because you can imagine, even for Yoruba people to talk about Wogbomo Bafoshu.
But you know
that it's not a new thing.
It's not a new concept.
It's
as
not.
Much as maybe it's DNA that now verifies it. I don't know about other culture, but I think that I've even heard it even in the Igbo culture, where there's the use of charms and all that to verify. There are ways to verify who's.
Yeah.
So there's always been that the issue of paternity fraud.
Even the word or phrase Omoale, like
yes.
it's also in tune with all of these things.
It's in it. So honestly, I think that the
so
man.
it didn't start today.
Yeah, the man needs to sue anybody suable at this point. Anyway, moving on from that, US YouTube star IShowSpeed apparently is in Lagos. He's been disturbing parts of Lagos. He's celebrated his birthday yesterday. He's just 21. I didn't even know he was that young.
It's amazing, right? How the world is changing right before our very eyes. He hit 21 yesterday in Lagos. He's been in Africa for weeks now. Yeah. I think he spent Christmas and New Year in Africa. He was in South Africa for the New Year. He's been to Morocco. He's been to Egypt, different parts of Africa, Kenya, Uganda. He's been everywhere. But one of the things that is interesting about his tour is that he's actually promoting Africa.
Yeah,
he's really. That's what he set out to do, like to show, like this is the Africa that they don't tell you about. And again, he's not being guided to only the good part. He's going everywhere. Like as soon as he got to Lagos, he went to Balogun Market. And I love what IShowSpeed is doing. I like how real he is. And it was also the same feeling I had. He's 21. And he started about 11 or 10 years ago.
Yeah,
meaning that
I think he said he really started streaming really well when around 15.
Yeah, but he's been at it for about 10, 11 years. And he's 21. Do you understand? So that's consistency. That's another thing that people don't see. He did not become 50 million subscribers overnight. Coincidentally, it was in Nigeria when he hit 50 million. You look at his streams and you're seeing 49,400. I'm like, man, this guy is big.
He's big. Anyway,
it's amazing how
tweet all that.
The world has changed. Before you move on from me though.
No, I'm not moving on from it.
I just wanted to say there's a downer for me, and it's the begging culture that is being displayed. Yeah, I'm happy that we won the Jollof War. He's tasted the Senegalese Wolof, and of course he has now tasted the Nigerian Jollof at Freedom Park. Shout out to the Freedom Park people. I like how Nigerians also, but maybe they respect ourselves too. You know, like everybody was just all over the place. There was a skateboarder that I saw a video of, and you're like telling him to come and skateboard that you would teach him. And he says, I don't do this. Guy was shouting at him, do it for Ronaldo. You do it for Real Madrid. The guy says, I do not skate. I don't skate. And the guy was shouting. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm old and maybe this is how young people. But I felt it was some form of harassment also.
The sad part for me with that is those things is that you think that, because he's celebrity, it happens every day. You go to parties, everybody like, what is wrong with you? And it's the begging culture. Even people that are work, so you know that it's not like as if they are hungry on the streets or something. Everybody is, and I think it's just ridiculous. But before we leave that matter,
bouncers and ushers, take note.
Nigerian TikToker and his former girlfriend are still found a way to insert themselves into this whole madness.
You're gonna go there?
Yes, I will, because apparently where it was, I think it was club yesterday at his party. Jarvis, who used to be girlfriend to Pella, apparently got into the party, and Mr. Pella was either bounced or he was never let in the first place. And there was a lot of hue and cry, and I know that at least there are videos of her really meeting him, and them having conversations, and all that.
She was doing a robot thing, and
I think that for me shows there needs to be a level of comportment. That's where at times education comes in. It's not everything that is noise. I think that Pella needs...
I'm not sure it's about education.
I think that Pella needs better management.
Management is about maturity.
Yes.
And he's a little boy anyway. But regardless, IShowSpeed is also...
Yeah, do you understand?
Is his age mate.
Exactly. I think that he needs better management. Because at times when you see... And I don't know if it happens... Maybe it probably happens with a few other people. But the really young people that seem to have a lot of money all of a sudden... They don't seem to get it together. So
what I gathered was that you knew it was going to be at a particular place at a particular time. Then you went there thinking that it would recognize you. Brother don't know you.
As what?
The man didn't even know Wale when he saw Wale. Wale. He don't know you. And that's the sad part. Like, as against, if he was smart enough, he would have found out who were the organizers.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Said,
that's what I'm saying.
I am the biggest TikToker in Nigeria. You're the biggest YouTuber, blah, blah, blah. I would like to have a live stream with you and blah, blah. And I'm sure Speed would have done something.
It would have been. That's what I'm like.
But here
was
you
just
are.
Very chaotic.
He got bounced.
Oh, yeah.
He got bounced.
He did.
So apparently, Speed has a friend that works with him. So there was one other Nigerian guy who is not even as big as Pella that got to feature alongside IShowSpeed and push some brands and stuff. And the guy said, look, this is how you do it. That you actually reach out to his friend, and he took a picture with it. And the guy is there in the background, and that's who Pella should have reached out to.
You get,
but you're in a crowd and you're trying to, of course you're part of the crowd.
My friend.
I feel for him though, and I hope that he still gets a chance before Speed leaves. I hope he gets a chance to collaborate, because apparently those things really, really help them. And they make a lot of money.
It's just better. Get a proper management company. You need it in your life.
Yeah.
Anyway, quickly from that, still talking about AFCON. AFCON is still the matter is not going anywhere anytime soon. First things first, Nigeria's Akwa Ibom's goal has been named among CAF's top 5 of AFCON 2025.
Yeah, shout out to Akwa. I'm even more, happy about, that is Lumumba celebration, and how
and it was the goal against
Yeah,
Algeria. Very
yeah.
interesting.
And the reason why I liked it was because the Algerians had mocked that celebration
they had
in the previous game
They-
against Lumumba's people, and of course Akko went there to
to it was such a very
Akko.
talking about Algeria, like I said earlier, looks like the fines and the stick is coming down on. It's probably going to come down on more people. We're probably going to see more sanctions. But for now, Algeria seems to have been the one to bail the cat. There have been sanctions. They're saying that there were quite a number of issues with staff, officials, and all that between the game against Algeria and Nigeria. It was such a very, very interesting thing. CAF has confirmed that the Algerian goalkeeper Lucas Zidane and defender Rafik Belgali have now been suspended for. Zidane got a 2-match ban. Belgali got a 4-match suspension. With 2 of those matches suspended, both sanctions will be served during the qualifiers of the 2027 AFCON. It's
a punishment that is not a punishment. That's all right.
So also they're now also being fined $5,000 for improper conduct of the Algerian national team after 5 players were cautioned. There was 5 yellow cards. There's another $25,000 for inappropriate behavior by players and officials after the match. $5,000 for the use of smoke bombs by supporters. Another $5,000 for the use of for objects thrown onto the pitch. $10,000 for failure to comply with security measures following attempts by supporters to breach security barriers, and a $50,000 for offensive and abusive gestures, specifically display of banknotes directed at match officials.
So CAF would deduct at source. After all, they would have won some money for being at AFCON.
So that's why I say that this seems to be a lot, but and we know that there are a lot more petitions, especially with the end from the quarterfinals, Morocco. So let's see Senegal. Let's see what is going to happen with that as well. But it looks like there just might be a few sanctions coming down from everybody. Also, a Nigerian, Miriam Usman, has now become the first Nigerian to join the inaugural Enhanced Games. That's going to happen later in the United States this year.
She's a weightlifter. She's an African champion. She's won several medals for Nigeria, and I think it's a sad thing. That's the way I say it. A sport that is meant to be based on your prowess, your own inborn talent, your skills, the ones that you've also honed and
but if you do this now, does that mean that you're probably not going to be able to compete?
I don't think you will be, because
you've already shown that you don't.
If you use performance enhancing drugs to perform at the enhanced games, then you now come to the unenhanced games, which is the normal one. How do you prove that?
How do you? Yeah.
At times people take these decisions for whatever reasons. I really wish that nobody came up with this terrible concept, but it's catching on.
Yeah, it looks like it is catching on, and it looks like it's happening. Anyway, quickly before we leave the matter of sports, Champions League match 7 ended yesterday. There were still the regular upsets, or would I say, how everybody thought that Chelsea was going to defeat Pafos like 5-0, and that game almost ended 0-0 at Stamford Bridge. How it looked like Slavia Praha was going to have one ahead of Barcelona. Everybody was talking about how horrible Barcelona's defense is. How, looking at the table after match day 7, looks like Arsenal are the only ones that are officially confirmed. Maybe Bayern as well, because I don't think that anybody's really going to live up. There's just one game left. The only person or the only people that look like they might get up to 18 points anymore if Bayern does not win their last game is Real Madrid and Liverpool. So let's say that to a large extent, officially they might not have qualified, but it looks like it's they're at least not going to get to playoffs. However, looking at this table seems to be an extremely competitive one, especially for the top 8. Even from Real Madrid all the way, it just takes one person in Juventus, who is number 15, to win a game, and Real Madrid not win the next game for it. Also, before that, PSG is number 6. PSG all the way to number 13, Atalanta. They are all on 13 points. 8 different teams on 13 points, just goal difference.
What jumps at me about this league table is that in the top 8, it's dominated by British teams, by English Premier League teams. You get the only non-Premier League teams there are Bayern,
Real Madrid, and
PSG.
Yes.
And Real Madrid. That's it.
Yes.
5 EPL teams.
Also, Liverpool, Tottenham,
it's
Newcastle,
massive.
and Chelsea.
That says a lot about the quality of that league. And that's the league that a lot of people criticize from time to time. But look at it. As at 7 games in the Champions League, the top 8 position, which is the automatic position, they have 5 of 8.
It's such an interesting one. So, like I said, it's a horribly competitive game for everybody. This last game, I can say that the only 2 people that are sure that even if they don't win it, which I don't see it happening anyway, is definitely Arsenal and Bayern. And the sad part is, take for example, Arsenal is going to, I think their last game is Kairat, who are the last on the team.
Just imagine.
I think it's a tad bit unfair.
They probably just shouldn't show up.
But it's just
because the way Arsenal
Bayern
is
going to play PSV as well. Bayern is going to play PSV. So what are we doing? It's just safe to say that because I think that Bayern also has a fantastic run in Champions League this season. The only game that they lost was to Arsenal. So you can't even say that who are the people on top of them. So they had a fantastic. Everybody else seems to be doing whatever it is that they like at this point. So it's going to be an interesting final league day, which is I think next week. Then we'll now see there will be a lot of upsets and lots of matchups and all that. Moving on from that quickly, let's go on quickly. And the Central Bank of Nigeria has moved to curb e-fraud and set a 30-minute response time for banks. So what the CBN is basically saying is that, according to so as to reduce fraud and also help with response time, if someone notices maybe a fraud or something, from the time is reported to the banks have only 30 minutes
to respond. That is
they must respond in space of 30 minutes. Even if there is a way to reverse some of these things, the timing of these transactions help.
Okay, so how that works is what I want to know. Say, for instance, every transaction will go through the normal channels. You get, like, you do a transfer, instant transfer. You would expect that it's instantaneous. So are they going to now put a lien, or are they going to put some kind of system in place that stops the transfers, or is it based on a value? Because
I don't
you
know
don't know
value,
it's fraud
but
until the owner reports it.
Yes, it's reported. So I think that
I'm just interested in the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, basically what I kind of understood from what they were saying is that from the minute it's reported, at least the faster your response time, the faster maybe something can be done about it. So that's what I understood by it. But also update from what we had talked about a couple of times this week is the ICPC is now officially set to arraign Mike Ozekhome SAN on Monday over the forgery allegations and all in with the UK property.
It's interesting. A lot of these things that are happening are just interesting. You know, a voice that you hear that speaks against corruption, speaks against profligacy in the government, and a whole lot of things is now being arraigned for something, you know, that allegedly was done, you know, in his capacity as as a lawyer. It's I don't know.
It is interesting.
It's not normal though. Let's see what happens because we still haven't heard from him.
Yeah,
which is not normal.
Still haven't heard up until now from his own quarters. Also, remember the Bauchi finance commissioner that was arrested? I think that was granted like 100 million naira bail. Also, the court has now also ruled that till the case is ongoing, at least now that he's on bail, he has to report to the DSS office every week.
Lucky him, it's not daily. There's some people that are told to report daily actually.
Okay, that was every day. But also talking about corruption matters and allegations, the EFCC has announced that they recovered at least 1.27 billion naira from Sujimoto, who's supposed to be a construction company, and they've handed the proceeds to Enugu government. I know a few months ago, Enugu government had come out to say that this particular person was contracted to build
smart schools,
and looks like nothing had happened. The man also came out, put out a whole campaign about it. With the campaign that he put out, one would think that it was no wrongdoing, but in my books, if the FCC can recover without even court case yet, and it can recover over a billion naira, then maybe it's safe to say that you may be a little culpable in this matter.
There's no little cockon. I know you said it creatively.
Oh my God.
You know, now Sujimoto is one of those young Nigerians that I admire. Like, I've seen them build something out of nothing, right? And one of the biggest things that jumps at you when I hear that brand is quality. You know, I look at the luxury that he is selling with his apartments and the properties that he is selling majorly on the island in Lagos. Then you get this kind of contract, which must definitely be way up your alley. Must be something that you must have pitched for.
And it's a state government, so
and they want to build smart schools. And what's your story? What's your excuse? You were mobilized. They gave you money. If there's variation, that does not mean that you will not
at least start. Yeah.
Do some work.
At least money was given to you.
Know? I don't know. I'm not saying you should work for free, but you agreed to a certain amount. And we all know that in business, there's always that caveat that this quotation is valid for a period of X, Y, Z. Now, in contract, there are even other layers.
Yeah, I even think that for you to even want to say, the money is not enough, or what's it called, let there be something that is there.
What have you done?
1.2 billion, which I think is even more than that, is just the money that has been recovered.
Speaking of 1.2 billion, some guy got an alert in his account of about that amount in Benin, Edo State. And immediately...
And he was spending it.
He started... What? He sent money to his mother's account, to his sister's account. He finished construction of his house, changed his lifestyle, was staying in a hotel and everything.
You know, I was telling a friend, and I said told two different people in the past couple of weeks, and someone was asking, and I said that the problem for me is that I don't think a lot of Nigerians are good people. Someone like, I said, because if you are not...
That's such a sweeping statement.
I said a lot of Nigerians. I didn't say most. I didn't say all. I said a lot of Nigerians are not good people. Because if you are not, and you hear these things a lot, you hear the kind of things that people do and say, and like, are you... Is it your money? Is it your money? Did you think that manna came from heaven? Is God a magician?
So they've recovered, I think, about 800 million or thereabout from him. And I'm sure they're going to sell that house that he went to finish and other things to get the rest of the money. But people get mind, Sha. Like
you know the funny thing? Now you don't have the money again. And you will not end up in jail.
And we will tell you have lived the life now.
Okay, continue to live the life.
Chop the life of his head. I'll be the head of his life, Denny.
Anyway, talking about money, Sha, I saw a post earlier today. I don't know, but that remember the case that is ongoing about the Mambila Power Project?
Yep.
So a prosecution witness has now told an Abuja court that former President Olunloyo had asked the former Minister Agunloye to add 11 billion naira to the 6 billion naira already appropriated to the 2003 budget.
It's not possible.
Is in court. So except he perjured himself, because that means he'll be lying under oath. The witness, Umar Babangida, an assistant commissioner of police and investigator, said that during his continued cross-examination of former minister, that that's kind of like what was said.
Okay. This is very, very interesting.
Very, very interesting,
during Obasanjo's tenure, there were different stories of different things, but nothing about him per se. Do you understand? But there were a few ministers that were culpable. There's this ID card scandal, national ID card scandal. I think it happened under him and all of that, but nothing that could stick to him or was alluded to him. Yeah. So this is shocking for me. I'm not a big fan, but it's shocking that his name has been mentioned.
Mentioning those kind of things.
The beauty of it is that there's no more immunity, and now his name has mentioned. I think it's either he steps on the offensive and sues this person for defamation, or goes to that court as a witness
and
to debunk whatever it is that has been. The sad part is that really and truly is also points to the fact that that's why that whole power thing never worked.
Yes. Anyway, moving on from that quickly, and let's go still talking about the court. A court has now ordered 9 headmen to pay 500 million naira compensation for destroying farmers' crops. This is
beautiful judgment. This is very good. And I hope that those headsmen have the money. I hope that the government has a way of getting them to pay. I have spoken to people. I have also seen videos online of how farmers just lose a lot. I still saw a guy last week that posted how they overran one of his farms, and it was a very big farm, and it's like it's not the first time, so he has spread his farms in different places so that he doesn't lose out completely. And it was about to harvest. It was almost harvest time.
Yes.
And it's this thing must stop, Sha.
It definitely has
this,
to stop.
Free range thing must stop. Even scientifically, it's not even good for the cows.
Exactly. It is definitely not good for the cows. Anyway, moving on from that quickly, a court has ordered, not the court. Now, Governor Abiodun has now come out to deny there have been allegations in the past 24 hours after the local government has suspended the Awujale selection again. And I saw even right up.
I shared one with you.
Yeah, and I was like, you know why at times I find it hard to believe some of these things. Like the way the person wrote it, you think the person was in the same room with the governor. I'm like, I think that even if a part of me, maybe a few things that I've seen and I've witnessed, if you are in those kind of circles, I don't think social media is the next place that you write those things. But I might be wrong. It might just be my own way. But anyway, Governor Akwa Ibom has now come to deny allegations of threats and intimidation.
And that he has a preferred candidate.
That he has a preferred candidate that is not his business.
So, for a second, what if that name that has been mentioned now gets chosen eventually?
Anyway, there's been all sorts of talks, and you know why I'm not shocked with all this drama is because 95 people from one family want to become for just one seat. There's bound to have all this drama.
There will be a lot.
The drama first started with Kwamon.
As he ended.
Exactly. So there's so much drama around the Awujales too. So I'm not shocked.
Because the Awujale that we all grew up to know lived there for so long.
So you don't.
We've never witnessed the process. It's not like Ibadan that we understand that is there's a roster.
You know that this kind of thing happened with Oyo State as well. That it took over 3 years.
Not Oyo State, Oyo Town.
Sorry, Oyo Town. That it took over 3 years.
There were other cases too, like
the Ogbomosh, they are still in court. Ogbomosh as well, because some of these kings take so long that you don't even remember that. Not even remember.
But 95 people want to be Awujale. 95, and it's not the old ruling houses.
No, one ruling
house.
It's
just one within one. In fact, it's one within one.
Yes.
You know, 95. Abba.
Yeah, it's definitely bound to have some.
I keep saying it. The last presidential election, we didn't have up to
95 candidates, Abi.
Abba.
Interesting. But before we go, there was one video that has been eluding my mind. I will see it. I'll say, I will talk about it for the past 2 days, and I'll be forgetting. But today, I saw it, and I say it would not pass me by. It's a particular man that that went to a church with a cutlass and decided that, you know what, it was going to stop the vigil, that apparently the noise was disturbing him, and someone made a video. And I've heard a lot of people say a lot of things, mostly against what the man said or the man did. If people are for it, but can I give you my honest opinion?
Yeah.
I probably won't take a cutlass, but I probably will get you arrested. Y'all, from the pastor, all of you down. And I think that until people realize that some of these things, even as a Christian, is very unchristian-like. Let me give you there was a particular day I was reading the Bible and something dropped, like it popped up. And that was when I you people a lot of people don't even, I think it's supposed to be Proverbs 27, basically something about
don't disturb your neighbor.
Don't disturb your neighbor. It will see it as a curse. Don't do that. Yeah. For proper reference, Proverbs 27 verse 14. He who blesses his neighbor with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, it will be counted as a curse to him. So all you people that be making noise, disturbing everybody, all in the name of evangelism, you are raining curses on yourself.
It's in the Bible.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's in the Bible.
Let's not all in the name of you want to. It's unfair to disturb people. So will I say violent? No, but
I think that for me, it speaks more to a failure on the part of government, because there's supposed to be residential and commercial places. Churches and mosques should be in commercial areas, because the decibel is high there. You get, so that's where they should be. I'm not saying because what they are doing is commercial, but because of the noise that they are bound to generate. Two, they should be regulated, and there should be soundproofing and all of those things. There was a time Lagos came down on them,
which is kind of what you see these days. You don't have those speakers that people put outside anymore.
I lived somewhere in Ojodu, Alagbole to be precise, and it was 2 years of hell, especially in the mornings. Some people start their service as early as 4:35 a.m.
What are we doing?
They start playing. Then there's going to be a mosque that would.
What are we doing now?
That would do the call.
Yeah.
Then there's another church. So at some point there are like 3 churches, and you can hear it all. I was living in the second floor, and you can hear it all.
Should I be honest with you with something? I'm not sure I've said this thing out a lot. I grew up where there was like a mosque behind where I lived, and there was like church or churches around. And as much as those call to prayer for mosques were annoying, at least you knew there was a specific time,
and they are done.
And in 15-20 minutes they're done.
Done.
But no, we'll do vigil. They will come the next morning. What are we doing now?
Can you not put the speakers inside your church? Do you have to make noise? Do you have to disturb your neighbors? To be honest, look, nobody's saying you shouldn't worship your God.
It's ridiculous.
Do not harm other people. And some people, they even find it hard to sleep, and there you are blaring your. Please, let's not fail to mention the Abuja state story.
There's an Abuja state. Residents want there to be an Abuja state, and they want Gwagwalada to be the capital, basically.
Not a bad thing, actually, since we're still talking about state creation in Nigeria. And you keep wondering why.
Maybe you see some of this litigation around elections and all that.
And also, there will be no more minister of. They will now have their own proper governor
and all that. So
which means they will have their own more than one senator.
Yeah, interesting news. Anyway, on that note, that is all we have take today on the bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow for TGF edition of the Boom Bar. Do have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead.